Welcome to AZ English Fluency, where we guide you on your complete journey from A to Z. Hello, everyone. I'm Olivia. Today, we are moving beyond the classroom and into the real world of English. We are stepping into the fast-paced, dynamic environment where native speakers communicate every day. Have you ever felt that you can read English perfectly, that you can understand a teacher in a classroom, but when you listen to a podcast, a movie, or a conversation between native speakers, the words just fly by in a confusing blur? This is the final wall that many advanced learners hit. It can be frustrating, and it can make you doubt your own abilities. But I want you to know that this is a normal part of the journey. And today, we are going to start breaking that wall down brick by brick. This episode is your daily workout. Think of me as your personal trainer for your ears. It is an intensive practice session meticulously designed to train your ear to catch the reductions, the linking, and the natural rhythm of fast, natural speech. We will not just listen passively, we will listen, we will analyze, and we will train. This is active listening at its most powerful. If you are ready to take your listening skills to the highest level to finally bridge that gap between textbook English and real-world fluency, please subscribe to the channel right now. This is precisely the kind of advanced, practical practice that we focus on, and I would be thrilled to have you with us on this journey. All right, let's begin our workout. Before we can run a marathon, we need to warm up our muscles. Similarly, before we can listen to a full, fast conversation, we need to warm up our ears. The number one reason English sounds so fast is because of something called reductions. These are the ways that native speakers shorten or reduce common words and phrases in casual speech. They are the secret shortcuts of spoken English. Let's train on the most frequent ones so your ear is primed to catch them. For each of these, I want you to notice the written form, the way you learned it in a book, versus the spoken form, the way you will almost always hear it. Let's start with a very common one. The written form is going to, but you will almost always hear the spoken form, gonna. Listen carefully. Gonna. Gonna. Now let's hear it in a sentence. First, I will say it slowly and separate it as I am going to call him. Now, listen to it at a natural, connected speed. I'm gonna call him. Do you hear that? I'm gonna call him. Next up, the written form is want to. The spoken form you will hear is wanna. 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 Let's put it in a sentence. The slow, separated version is I want to go. But the natural speed sounds like this. I want to go. I want to go. Here is another essential one. The written form is have to. When we speak quickly, this becomes have to. Have to. Have to. Let's hear it in a sentence. Slow version, you have to finish. Natural speed, you have to finish. You have to finish. Very similar is the written form got to. This reduces to gotta. 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 The slow sentence is I have got to leave. And the natural speed is I've gotta leave. I've gotta leave. Let's try another pair. The written form is let me. The spoken form is lemme. Lemme. So a slow sentence like let me help you becomes let me help you. Let me help you. And another one just like it. The written form is give me. The spoken form sounds like gimme.
gimme. A slow sentence like give me the book becomes gimme the book. Gimme the book. Here is a very common one for describing things. The written form is kind of. The spoken form reduces to kinda. Kinda. A slow sentence, it is kind of strange. At natural speed, it sounds like it's kinda strange. It's kinda strange. And our final warm-up reduction, which is a question. The written form is, what are you? The spoken form is, whatcha, whatcha. A slow question, what are you doing, becomes the very common, very fast, what you doin', what you doin'. Excellent. Your ears are now tuned to the basics. You have warmed up. You are now primed to recognize these common patterns. Now it is time for the main workout. We are going to listen to a short, fast, and completely natural dialogue between two friends who are making plans for the weekend. First, I am going to say the entire dialogue at full speed. Your only job is to listen. Do not try to write anything down. Do not worry if you don't understand every single word. That is not the goal of this first pass. The goal is simply to listen for the flow, the rhythm, and the music of the conversation. Are you ready? Let's listen.
Hey, what you doing this weekend? Do you want to grab a bite to eat? I don't know. I kind of got to finish this report. I should have done it yesterday. Come on, it'll be fun. We could go to that new place downtown. All right, let me see what I can do. I'll give you a call later, okay? Okay. How did that feel? Perhaps it felt very fast. Perhaps you caught a few words, but not all of them. That is perfectly fine. Now we begin the real work. We are going to do a line-by-line breakdown. We will deconstruct every sentence piece by piece. Let's start with the first line from Alex. At natural speed, it was, hey, what you doing this weekend? Do you want to grab a bite to eat? Okay, let's break that down. He starts with, what you doing this weekend? As we just practiced, whatcha is the fast way of saying, what are you? And notice doing. He doesn't say doing. The final G sound is often dropped in casual speech. So what are you doing becomes what you doing. The second part was, do you want to grab a bite to eat? Do you is a very fast reduction of do you. It almost sounds like one syllable, dia. And there's our reduction from the warm-up, wanna for want to. So do you want to becomes do you wanna. Let's hear that first line again. First slowly, what are you doing this weekend? Do you want to grab a bite to eat? Now listen for the reductions at natural speed. Hey, what you doing this weekend? Do you want to grab a bite to eat? Now for Ben's reply. At natural speed, it was, I don't know. I kind of got to finish this report. I should have done it yesterday. Let's deconstruct it. He starts with, I don't know. This is a very common reduction of I don't know. The T sound in don't disappears and it all blends together. I don't know. Then he says, I kind of got to finish this report. There are two of our warm-up words back to back. Kinda for kind of, and gotta for got to. So I kind of have got to finish becomes I kind of gotta finish. The last part is I shoulda done it yesterday. Shoulda is a reduction of should have. It's used very often when talking about past regrets. I should have done it becomes I should have done it. Notice also the linking in done it. It sounds like done it. Let's hear Ben's full response. First, slowly, I don't know. I kind of have got to finish this report. I should have done it yesterday. Now, at natural speed, I don't know. I kind of got to finish this report. I should have done it yesterday.
Now, Alex's next line. At natural speed? Come on, it'll be fun.
We could go to that new place downtown. The first word, come on, is a reduction of come on. It's used to encourage someone. Then, it'll be fun. It'll is the contraction of it will. But when spoken fast, it sounds very short. It'll. Let's hear it slowly. Come on, it will be fun. Now at natural speed. Come on, it'll be fun. And finally, Ben's last line. At natural speed. All right, let me see what I can do. I'll give you a call later, okay? Let's break it down. He starts with, all right, let me see what I can do. There's our warm-up word, lemme, for let me. Then, I'll give you a call later. I'll is the contraction for I will. And notice give ya. This is a very common reduction of give you. The you becomes a soft ya. So, I will give you a call becomes I'll give you a call. He ends with K. This is a very short, casual way of saying okay. Let's hear Ben's last line slowly. All right, let me see what I can do. I'll give you a call later, okay? And now at natural speed. All right, let me see what I can do. I'll give you a call later, okay? And finally, we have I should have done it yesterday. Shoulda is a reduction of should have. It's used very often when talking about past regrets. I should have done it becomes I should have done it. Notice also the linking in done it. It sounds like done it. Let's hear Ben's full response, first slowly. I do not know. I kinda have got to finish this report. I should have done it yesterday. Now, with natural speed, I don't know. I kinda gotta finish this report. I should have done it yesterday. Now, fantastic! You have now analyzed every reduction and every link in that conversation. Now that we have broken it all down and trained your ear on the specific patterns, let's listen to the entire conversation one more time at full speed. I want you to notice how much more you can understand now. Your brain is now primed to hear the shortcuts. Let's listen.
Hey, what you doing this weekend? Do you want to grab a bite to eat? I don't know. I kind of got to finish this report. I should have done it yesterday. Come on, it'll be fun. We could go to that new place downtown. All right, let me see what I can do. I'll give you a call later, okay? How did you do that time? I am willing to bet that it was much, much clearer. That is the power of active analytical listening. You have just completed a powerful listening workout. To make this a lasting skill, you need to make it a daily habit. Here is what I recommend you do every day. This is your cool down and your ongoing practice regimen. First, practice active listening. Find a short 1-minute clip of natural English. It could be a scene from a movie, a short segment from a podcast, or a YouTube video with native speakers.
Do a first pass. Listen to the 1-minute clip once, without any subtitles. Don't worry about details. Just try to get the main idea, the general topic. Then do a second pass with analysis. Listen to the same clip again, but this time with English subtitles. Now your job is to be a detective. Pause every time you hear a reduction or a linked phrase that you did not catch the first time. Write it down. Notice a pattern. Finally, do a third pass. Listen to the same clip one final time, but now without the subtitles again. Your brain will now be trained to hear those connections you just analyzed. This 3-pass process trains your ear to find the hidden patterns in fast speech. It turns a confusing blur into a predictable system. Understanding fast English is not about magic. It is not a special talent that some people have and others don't. It is a skill, And like any skill, from playing the piano to learning a sport, it can be trained. By actively listening for these reductions and linking sounds every single day, you are literally rewiring the neural pathways in your brain. You are training your brain to understand English as it is truly spoken, not as it is written in a textbook. Be patient with yourself. This is an advanced skill. Some days will feel easier than others, but every single time you do this practice, your ear gets a little bit stronger, a little bit sharper. You are closer to understanding everything than you think. Thank you for your focused effort in our session today. It takes discipline to do this kind of deep listening, and you have done wonderfully.
The reductions we practiced in our warm-up today are just the beginning. There are many more. In the comments below, I would love for you to share one other reduced word or phrase that you have heard native speakers use. Maybe it's shouldna for should not have, or what'ya for what do you. Let's create a useful, ongoing list for our entire community of advanced learners. Thank you for joining this practice session. If you are serious about reaching the highest levels of fluency, make sure you are subscribed to AZ English Fluency for more advanced lessons and training just like this one. Until next time, keep listening and keep training.